Could India's political landscape be the most complex in the world? This isn't a question to be taken lightly. Indian politics is a fascinating tapestry woven with a multitude of threads. The inherent diversity, the multi-party system, and the sheer magnitude of the electorate all contribute to this complexity. Imagine a country with over 1 billion people, each with their own unique set of beliefs, values, and priorities. Now, picture a political system that seeks to represent all of these voices, an intricate dance of democracy. From the towering Himalayas in the north to the serene backwaters in the south, political ideologies vary as much as the geography. The multi-party system in India further compounds this complexity. With national parties, regional parties, and independent candidates, each election is a testament to the vibrancy and dynamism of Indian democracy. To understand India's current political climate, we need to delve into its past. India's journey to democracy began with its independence in 1947. The departure of British colonial rule sparked a pathway to self-governance, a journey that would both challenge and define the nation. The formation of the Constitution was a monumental task, one that took over 2 years of intense deliberation, discussion, and debate. A constituent assembly composed of representatives from across the country worked tirelessly to create a document that would serve as the bedrock of the nation's democracy. The Constitution of India, adopted on the 26th of January 1950, enshrined the democratic principles of freedom, equality, and justice. Parallel to this, the establishment of the parliamentary system was underway. The system adopted was similar to that of the British, with a bicameral parliament consisting of the Rajya Sabha, or the Council of States, and the Lok Sabha, or the House of the People. The president, elected by an electoral college, became the head of state, while the prime minister, chosen by the majority party, became the head of government. In the early years of independent India, the political landscape was largely dominated by the Indian National Congress, the party that had led the struggle for independence. Under the leadership of its first prime minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, the Congress strived towards building a secular socialist state. Their policies focused on industrialization, land reform, and education. With Nehru at the helm until 1964, and his daughter Indira Gandhi taking over soon after, the Congress's influence spanned over the first 3 decades of India's independence. However, this dominance of a single party was not to last forever. The seeds of dissent, dissatisfaction, and desire for change were slowly being sown across the nation. The stage was being set for a political transformation that would shape the future of Indian democracy. The dominance of a single party set the stage for a political transformation. The 1980s marked a turning point in Indian politics. With the nation maturing into its democratic identity, the political landscape began to diversify. The era witnessed the rise of regional parties, each representing the unique aspirations and concerns of their respective geographic belts. The regional parties, rooted in local identity and culture, offered an alternative to the mainstream national parties, providing a platform for the voices that felt unheard. The emergence of regional parties wasn't just a political shift, it was a social phenomenon, reflecting the diverse tapestry of India's cultural and linguistic landscape. Parties such as the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam in Tamil Nadu, the Telugu Desam Party in Andhra Pradesh, and the Akali Dal in Punjab, to name a few, gained prominence during this period. Parallel to the rise of regionalism, another significant development was unfolding: the shift towards caste-based politics. Caste, a deep-rooted social stratification system in India, started to play a pivotal role in the political discourse. The Mandal Commission, set up in the late 1970s, submitted its report in the 1980s, recommending reservations for the socially and educationally backward classes in government jobs and educational institutions. The implementation of these recommendations in the 1990s led to widespread protests and political upheaval, but it also marked the ascendance of caste-based politics. The rise of regional and caste-based politics had a profound impact on the power structure. It led to the formation of coalition governments at the center, a stark contrast to the single-party dominance of the earlier years. Power was no longer concentrated in the hands of a few. Instead, it was now shared among various regional and caste-based factions, each wielding their influence to shape the national agenda. This era marked a significant shift in the power dynamics of Indian politics. It was a time of transformation, a time when the many voices of India began to find their place in the political symphony, forever changing the melody of Indian democracy. The 1990s witnessed the rise of right-wing politics in India. The Bharatiya Janata Party, or the BJP, stepped into the political limelight during this period. This party, born out of the Bharatiya Jana Sangh in 1980, was a major player in the right-wing movement. Its growth was not an overnight phenomenon but the result of years of groundwork, strategic alliances, and the ability to tap into the sentiment of a significant section of the Indian populace. The BJP's rise was marked by a few significant events that not only tested the fabric of the nation, but also dramatically transformed the political landscape. One such event was the demolition of the Babri Masjid in 1992. The masjid, a 16th-century mosque in the city of Ayodhya, was central to a political and religious dispute that had been simmering for decades. The BJP, along with other right-wing groups, backed the claim that the site was the birthplace of Lord Rama, a revered figure in Hinduism. The demolition was a flashpoint, leading to widespread communal violence and polarization. Another event that marked the BJP's political journey was the Gujarat riots of 2002. The state of Gujarat, under the BJP rule, saw one of the most violent and divisive communal riots in India's history. This event brought the BJP under intense scrutiny and criticism, domestically and internationally. However, it also cemented the party's position in the state, demonstrating the complex dynamics of Indian politics. The BJP's growth was not just about controversy, though. It was also about a shift in political discourse, a move towards a more assertive nationalism, and the promise of a robust economy. The party's success in the 2014 and 2019 general elections underlined its acceptance by a significant portion of the electorate. The rise of the BJP signaled a new era in Indian politics. A new era marked by the dominance of right-wing ideology, a shift in political narratives, and the emergence of a stronger, more assertive India on the global stage. Scene script, fast forward to today, what does India's political landscape look like now? As we step into the present, the Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP, stands dominant, wielding considerable influence on the national stage. Under the charismatic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the BJP has successfully consolidated power, sweeping general elections and implementing bold, if controversial, policies. Yet the Indian National Congress, once the country's political titan, has seen its power wane. Struggling to regain its footing, the party faces internal strife and dwindling support. Despite this, it remains a key player, its historical significance and deep-rooted presence ensuring it a seat at the table of Indian politics. The rise of regional parties, however, cannot be overstated. They have emerged as critical power brokers, their influence often dictating the course of national politics. From the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam in Tamil Nadu to the Trinamool Congress in West Bengal, these parties cater to regional aspirations and identities, adding another layer of complexity to the political landscape. Now let's delve into some key issues shaping the current scenario. Corruption, a persistent thorn in India's side, continues to be a major concern. Despite efforts to curb it, corruption remains deeply ingrained, affecting everything from small-scale transactions to high-level policy decisions. Economic development, too, is a hot-button issue. With an economy that's been hit hard by recent global events, the government's handling of the economy is under intense scrutiny. The challenge lies in balancing growth with equity, in a nation where wealth disparities are stark. Lastly, we cannot ignore the religious tensions that simmer beneath the surface. A secular state on paper, India grapples with religious discord in reality, the tension often stoked for political gain. The question of how to maintain harmony amidst diversity is one that continues to plague the nation. The future of Indian politics remains as unpredictable as its past. As we look ahead, it's clear that India's political journey is far from over. The twists and turns of its political narrative continue to captivate us, reminding us of the dynamic nature of democracy. So, what does this all mean for India's political future? As we've explored, the Indian political landscape is a complex tapestry woven with threads of democracy, regional politics, caste-based dynamics, and the rise of right-wing politics. Each aspect is an integral part of the grand narrative of India's political evolution. From the birth of Indian democracy, the nation has seen a constant ebb and flow of power. The rise of regional and caste-based politics has further diversified the political sphere, echoing the country's inherent diversity. The advent of right-wing politics marks another significant turn, prompting new dialogues and debates. Today, the current political scenario is a reflection of these intricacies. It's a dynamic, ever-changing landscape that has far-reaching implications for the future. This includes potential shifts in political ideologies, power dynamics, and the continued evolution of democracy. As we continue to decode India's political landscape, one thing is certain: it's a fascinating journey of change and evolution.